everybody. Jeff with Invisible Condition, host of Invisible Condition here. And I tell you what, we have a little bit different show today, but let me just kick this off here. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head, okay? I'm your host. We created this show for you, okay? Because we wanted everybody with an invisible condition to know that they have a voice, they have a community, and they're not alone. Because you're not alone. No matter what, you're not alone. There's always a community. So I am here with a little bit different show today. We are doing something a little different. So I'm kind of skirting around here. Pardon me. Here we go. All right. We have a really cool show today. I am super excited. I'm a little nervous because I'm not sure how this is going to go. I've never done this quite this type of thing before, but it's going to be cool. You guys are going to love it. Hearts Need Art is the organization that I have today. And they are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in San Antonio, Texas. And what they do is they hire and train local professionals, visual artists, musicians, writers to create basically moments of joy and self-expression and connection with people facing, life-altering health challenges, things that they're going to be in a hospital for a while for. They do this through arts and engagement and advocacy, and it's really cool. Hearts Need Art's mission is just the universal accessibility of arts engagement to help everybody feel seen, heard, loved while facing these health challenges. So they kind of line up with what we're doing, don't you think? Everybody gets a voice. Everybody has a community, right? So, and specifically, Hannah Garrison is going to be on the show with me today. And she is one of their visual artists, and she lives with multiple sclerosis. So she lives with an invisible condition. How perfect is that for the show? I mean, I didn't even know who we were going to have on the show. And it turns out that we'll get to talk about that a little bit too. She uses her art experience to help her manage with living with that invisible condition and the new normal that presents, So her work with patients through Hearts Need Art has solidified the importance of the role that art can play, in the healthcare setting. So I think it's awesome. I can't wait to, I would love to see this in action in a hospital. Honestly, I'm kind of like, this was kind of a setup we came up with like last night when we knew we were doing the show. So hopefully you guys will be able to see. And by the way, I've got the markers and stuff here. If I turn away, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I have to see what I'm doing because I can't look at the screen and do it. So just a little precursor there. So anyway, here's Hannah. Let's bring her on. This is awesome. Hey, Hannah.
Hi. Thank you for having me, guys.
This is so cool. I'm not going to lie. This is a little weird because I'm not used to this is going to be fun. This is cool. So.
Yeah, it's different. It's very different. And you don't have to be a professional to do art. Okay. That's what I'm here for.
That's right.
But your setup looks great. It really looks amazing. I was not expecting to see such an awesome setup like that. And I love that you outlined the paper so that we can actually see the paper, right?
Yeah, white on white doesn't work so good. People be like, where's he going?
No.
So hopefully everybody can see that. So well, this is awesome. Yeah, what are we so let me pull that out of there and do this. And I tell you what, this is definitely a unique episode. Usually it's we're talking and we're just kind of bantering back and forth, and today we're actually gonna be doing something a little different. So let me just throw this out there to the audience. If there are some quiet moments, like we'll be talking most of the time, even as I'm doing this and she's doing hers on her side. But if there are quiet moments, don't worry, the audio didn't die. We're just concentrating and I'm doing doing something up here, and we'll be back. I promise.
Yeah. And honestly, I tell people all the time in the hospital when I'm working with them, if it's quiet in the room, it's absolutely okay, because you just need those times to focus. Like, we don't have to fill every single second with conversation. You can just be
Thank you.
yourself and
Yes.
just do what you need to do. It's totally
Exactly. Well, and the nature of my invisible condition is I have hydrocephalus, and so I've had multiple brain surgeries, and so every time you have, I've had 4 in the last 8 years. My last brain surgery was in October of 21. My first one was when I was 2 weeks old. So it's a thing, for hydrocephalus. That's it. That's the treatment is brain surgery. So with that, every time you have a brain surgery, it's a traumatic brain injury, right? So it's basically, because they're hacking around in there. And so if I need to, I'll probably just tell you, okay, hold the phone for a second. I'm going to, hold on. I might need time to process what you're doing, or just do the thing, and then we'll get back to it. Or anyway, just I'm sure we'll roll with it. We'll get it. We'll be good.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah, it's all good. So,
well, since we're putting little disclaimers about our invisible condition, you'll probably see me yawning, and it's just because I'm in a perpetual state of sleepy. Okay, it's not because I'm bored or anything.
I totally get it.
I'm always sleepy, always fatigued, and that's because I have a condition called multiple sclerosis. So I'm just like fatigue. I know what that is. So I'm always very tired. So
I get it. Yeah, no worries. Well, let's get our Bob Ross on here and get to it. Here, what do we? All right.
Well, do we want to give an introduction of Hearts Need Art first, or do you want to just
Please, go for it.
Well, Hearts Need Art, as you mentioned, works with patients in the hospital or virtually sometimes too, which is why I have this little setup. But when we're working with patients, sometimes it's cancer patients, sometimes it's psychiatric patients, sometimes people with brain injuries, and we are not professionals. I should put that out there. We're not medical professionals, but we are artistic professionals. So we come in there with a positive attitude, ready to work with the patients and be there for them. Our session with patients is it's entirely all about you if you're in the hospital, for example.
Yeah.
So yes, we work with patients doing art projects, perhaps writing something with them if you're a writer, perhaps playing music with them for the musicians. So again, we are professionals and we love what we do. We're passionate about the people that we serve. And that's why I'm here, because it makes me so happy to serve people. I love teaching people art. So that's why we're here today. So we can go ahead and show people what we're doing if you want.
Bring it on. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Let me, sorry, that's for me. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Thank you, Jeff.
There we go.
So we'll want some markers today if you have markers. Okay, so we'll give you guys maybe a minute or so to go and grab those supplies if you have them. If you don't have markers, you can use crayons. You can use colored pencils. And even if you don't have those things, anything with color, I actually prepared ahead of time an example in which I only use pen. So ta-da!
Ta-da!
So just pen. Even if you have only pen, that's okay. Use what you have, okay?
Yeah.
I'll just set this aside, but I'll probably bring it out every once in a while just to show people that you can do it like this.
That is that is my favorite part about this, because that's how my whole life has been with art. I've never been the professional studio artist. I've always been the doodling in class and designing little logos for people that you just kind of doodle and you kind of, and so it's like, oh, let's see, what do we got here? There's a Sharpie and a ball pen. Okay. All right, sweet. Well, let's sketch this out, So I love that off the cuff kind of thing. So
yeah, well, it's funny because I like to make things accessible to people. Like I don't want you to feel like art has to be always on this pedestal, and so therefore it's unreachable, and therefore you can't do it because maybe artists' supplies might cost a little bit too much.
They so do.
It can, yeah, absolutely. Been there.
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't have to be anything big. Use what you
Yeah.
have. Be resourceful if you can be resourceful. And
Yeah.
I used to be a doodler too. Like even in college, I would like always make little doodles on the sides of my notes because it helped me
Yep.
focus. Right.
Right.
Really, my
Exactly.
brain has to do something
That's
while
right.
I'm listening to a lecture. So
Totally.
you get it.
Yeah. Well, let's do it.
Let's do
What's the
it.
first step?
Okay, very first step, we're going to go ahead and actually put our palm trees in there.
Nice.
So I'm thinking that since we also want to talk about Hearts Need Art in between, I'm thinking that instead of taking up all of my time talking about one step at a time, I'll give you maybe 2, 3 steps.
Okay.
And then we'll have some moments of pause where
Yeah.
we can concentrate or we can talk.
Yeah.
So our palm trees, I just want to describe exactly what we see, what we're seeing. We have a nice sunny beach. I want you guys to envision a breeze. It's a nice breeze. It's a sunny day. You want to relax while you're outside, and you can feel that breeze when you're watching the trees and the leaves moving in the distance. So we're here to capture that scene. You can see lots of motion. You can see the waves. But I want you to take a look at this, and I want you to know that all of these marks that you see are scribbles. They're literally scribbles. And I want to take you back to elementary school, maybe preschool, when you were just a kid and you were just you had your crayons and you were just scribbling away. Well, we're just going to be doing some slightly more grown-up scribbles. That's all it is. So more organized scribbles.
Yeah, there you go.
Put it that way.
Relatively in the lines. Yeah.
Exactly. So since I have colors, I have a very simple little Crayola marker set, 20 count. That's,
Awesome.
if you have it, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. I always like to lay my colors out. So I have a light green and a dark green. So there's 2 greens there. For my water, I have blue, but also I have purple, but honestly, use what you want to do, okay? I wanna make some wiggle room for your own creative expression, okay?
Sure.
You don't have to use purple, just use something dark. That's all. Use something dark. For the sky here, I have a softer blue, maybe more like a teal. I don't know if you want to call it a teal, but it's a softer kind of blue. And we'll jump down here. I have the actual trees themselves. So I used, actually, I didn't even remember this until now, but I actually used 2 types of brown for this. So I have a light brown and a dark brown. But if you only have one brown, again, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to bring this out. And I also have some sort of dark yellow color. But if all you have is regular yellow, hey, use that.
Yeah.
Think of something that reminds you of sand. We want sand. So think of sand. I'm going to bring out this color. And then I'll set everything else aside. Actually, I just noticed I forgot I had another color. I actually have a light purple down here, but that's optional. Okay. You have to have all that. And actually, I might not include that because it's kind of a lot. So I'm going to set the rest aside.
All right.
And let's take our brown for our coconuts.
All right.
Yeah. Right now, our trees are going to look like they're floating, and it's okay. So,
what is going on with the trees? Okay.
No, we want to take a look at our space, right? So our trees they're pretty much in the middle. So I'm going to take my hand.
Kind of right in the middle of the page.
See if you can put your hand right in the middle of the page. This is generally where your 2 trees are going to be.
Okay.
So I'll pick a spot up here. I'll just start with this guy up here. This is at the top. I'm going to draw my coconuts. Maybe 3 or 5 little coconuts there. All they are is circles. That's it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my green, and let's go ahead and give.
You're just doing one tree.
Yeah, we'll do one tree for now, and then I'll probably let you loose and do the other tree.
Loose.
So I like to actually start with each of the tops of the leaves. You see how it's curved like that?
Yep.
So let's do that. Let's just make the curves. It's going to look like a little spider. Look at all the legs walking out. Now the legs they're everywhere, right? Maybe a spider. Maybe some people think of fireworks, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's perfect. You did great. So let's go ahead and make the beginnings of our little scribbles, okay? Now I know that you see that it's a darker green overall, but think of this as just like a practice run for our leaves. So I'm gonna take one of my leaves and let's scribble down. If you think about palm trees, gravity is going to weigh those little, what do you call them? Like these stringy parts down. It's
I think
going to,
those are the leaves, the branches, and then the leaves.
yeah, that's a much better word. Thank you. Branches and the leaves. It's going to weigh the leaves down. So all of our marks are going to be moving downward. But remember, we have a breeze, right? So if they go a little bit crazy, it's because of the breeze. It's okay.
Right.
So really up here, I have like my breeze is picking up this one in the wind, and that's why they're not facing downward. Gonna move downward just like that with all of them. And then I can go ahead and do the same thing with my dark green. I'm gonna outline it with my dark green. Just to give it a little oomph, right? So we can see it.
Yeah.
Got my dark green. I'm all set. I'm just going to retrace my steps a bit. So I'm going to do the legs sticking out, overlap the lines that I have. And I really want you guys to, it's very hard to not be a perfectionist sometimes. I can't just tell you to not be a perfectionist, right? But see if you can tap into that inner child. You're just scribbling. That's all this is.
Yep.
I'm going to put the dark part of the leaf underneath, kind of like that. Gives it a little bit of weight to each and every one of the leaves. And voila, I have the beginnings of a palm tree. Yeah. How you doing, Jeff? It looks great from what I can see. It really looks good.
Color it in a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
We'll see.
Now I'm going to let you. All right. We can go
branches.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do our second palm tree. I'm going to do it below this guy, but wherever you've got space, that's fine. So again, start off with our little coconuts here. Now I'm giving plenty of space in between this very first palm tree, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe 3, maybe I'll do 5 little coconuts here.
Okay.
And then again, start all over again with your light green. Maybe this will be a little memory exercise. See if you can remember. I feel like art is really great for that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I use my experience with multiple sclerosis in my art practice whenever I'm teaching other people.
Nice.
Because I've found, at least in the cancer arena, a lot of people experience very similar symptoms to MS, you know? So it's comforting to hear other people's struggles, right?
Totally. So we're getting pretty close to a break. So I'm gonna so actually I'm gonna leave mine like this. You're coloring yours in a little bit. I'm gonna leave this like this, and I'm actually gonna take you and the art off the screen, and then we'll be back in just a couple minutes after the commercial. So stick around. We're gonna do probably some water, so it'll be good. I don't know. Yep. That's up to Hannah. She's the artist. So we're gonna.
I'm gonna finish up my little palm tree, and then we'll be back.
Nice. All right. So we'll stick around. We'll be back in just a minute. Here we go.
Eva Baca Kearns here, and I am the host of One Punch Superstars, where we meet real people who chose to fight for their hopes and their dreams and become the champions of their destiny. You can find us on Achieve TV every Tuesday and Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, right here on E360 TV.
All right, here we go. While this commercial was going, I colored in a few more leaves, but you know, I'm a rebel like that. Okay, let's bring Hannah back. Hey, Hannah,
Hey, I love your leaves. They
so
look
I'm gonna,
so
yep,
good.
we're gonna keep going here because it was a little hard to like concentrate on doing that, knowing that I had to push another button. So I'm gonna
I get it. No, keep on
going here. Yeah.
Yeah, I can continue on with the next step if you want. We're just gonna do the tree trunk now.
All right.
Yeah. So, I'll try to be as descriptive as possible. Okay. I'm gonna take my brown here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my finger, and I like to maybe just draw out the direction of my my tree trunk.
Okay.
Going down. So same thing with this one. That way I'm primed and ready to make my swipes. Gonna move downward. I don't have to reach all the way to the bottom, although I accidentally did. And then with this one, I totally love to embrace the accidents, embrace the little things.
You know,
I mean, they're not really accidents, honestly. They're just steps that we didn't mean to take.
I love the way Bob Ross says it. I know we said Bob Ross. We referenced it in the beginning. It's happy accidents, you know.
Happy
We don't
accidents.
care.
That's
Who
really
cares?
that's really my philosophy too.
No.
We have happy accidents. So I want to put a little bit of texture in my tree trunk. So I've already done my swipes going down, and I want to actually make some teeny tiny little tick marks on the inside of my tree trunk. So they can be located in the middle or on the side, as long as you just have little tick marks inside, you're good. We're just gonna make some little marks there. And I'm good. I'm done with that. We can actually work on the sand once you're ready, Jeff. Yeah, beautiful.
All right.
See, this is what it's like, even in hospital rooms. Sometimes I feel funny telling people when I introduce myself. I'll walk into a hospital room, for example, and I'll introduce myself and I'll say that I'm an artist. And, I love the look on their face when they're shocked to see an artist walk into their hospital room.
Why are you here? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what's an artist doing here?
Wait a second.
I love it.
Yeah.
It never gets tiring. And then I'll start to like break down that I'm an artist and I'm here for you. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to do an art project with you. And you can see they relax their demeanor usually. And then
oh man, you seriously being in the hospital, especially depending on what you're in there for. I mean, there was a stretch that I was in there in 2014. I was in there for 2 back-to-back brain surgeries. I was in there for 3 weeks. It's not fun being in there. I mean, it was fine. I mean, you're just bored out of your mind. So when somebody, for that long, so when somebody comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to do an art project," I probably would have jumped up and down. I probably would have been so excited.
Yeah, no, I totally know the feeling too.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and draw the sand here, and it's a nice little slope that goes from one edge or one corner to another.
Okay.
So since I have my palm trees already here, whenever I make my line, I'm just gonna jump over the trees and then continue on there. So start at the top there.
Oh, that can't see that.
Down.
Get rid of that one.
Use like a yellow of some sort. You could even like throw in some brown there if you don't have a yellow. That's okay.
I had a yellow, but I threw it on the ground because I couldn't see it. It's like
So
the
no
yellow
one,
was
yeah,
invisible to me, so it would be invisible to everybody else.
yeah,
It
for
was
sure.
like,
Yellow's a tough one, yeah.
yellow's a tough one on a
Yeah.
white piece of paper, you know.
So whenever you're ready, you got your whatever color you're using.
Okay.
I am gonna make some little squiggly marks in here, and it's just to give it some texture and some motion. I'm gonna make long squiggly marks, okay?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're writing a signature, but it's a really big signature. So I'm moving with the slope, signature, going. There you go.
Yep.
Over to this section, in my little signature. We jump into the small section, and voila, I'm done. Yeah, it's like you're writing a signature, you know, like you put your wrist in it.
Exactly.
There you go. If
Yeah.
you put your wrist, you know. Beautiful.
I mean, I've never called sand beautiful before, but hey, whatever works.
I can see it. I see the marks and I see the movement. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the movement, that up and down movement. You're doing great.
All right.
Now, we're going to jump up and we want to start to create our ocean. So we're going to create this horizon line in the back here. I'm going to start with blue. I mean, blue makes sense. It's an ocean. Let's do it.
Sure.
So
we're creating the top of the ocean here. Basically.
You got it. So since I have some palm trees in the way, I am going to jump over that once I get to it, okay?
Yeah.
And I want to move it up here because I want to give plenty of space down here for our ocean. So it's going to be probably up here.
Okay.
So if you're ever in doubt on where to go, use your finger to kind of guide you. And then make your mark and go.
Okay.
And honestly, it's going to look great even if it's not a straight line, okay? You're not a robot.
The ocean's not a straight line anyway.
It's not. Yeah.
It's all right.
Good. It's not.
It's all right. I've been to the ocean. It's never a straight line.
No. Let's give it a little bit of texture now. Now, do you remember the handwriting, right? So handwriting texture, we're going to give it little bits of squigglies in little patches. I'm pressing down very lightly, honestly, like very lightly. Little squigglies, and just move your way down. Squigglies, elongated squigglies. Remember, that inner child is trying to make its way out, make their way out. I'm going to put some little squigglies in here. They're all going to be horizontal.
In the lines-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, ish. It's always ish, right?
Right.
I'm going to squeeze it in wherever I can. Whatever you can do is totally fine. Even if you have like hands, you know, maybe your hands aren't working properly. Maybe they're moving a little bit too much. This is the perfect kind of texture for that. Keep on going. Now I think I'm good. Yeah. There you go, Jeff.
All right.
Is that purple? It almost looks purple from this distance.
It is a little, the dark it's a little dark.
I like it because actually that's the next step. We're going to add purple to our ocean.
We could add a little lighter as it comes up here.
Yeah, I'm going to sprinkle in my dark purple here in the background because it looks, when you're looking at an ocean, it looks darker in the background. So when I say I'm sprinkling it in, I'm really just following my footsteps and maybe putting a few in between. Remember, your inner child is wanting to come out, so let them do their thing. Now I'll sprinkle just a little bit down here, and then I think I'm good to go. You know, most of it is up here in the distance. And if you're using just pen, if that's all you have, sprinkle a little bit extra pen so that there's more pen lines in this area. So it's black and white, but you can still make it darker by adding a larger amount of those same squiggles in the background. There you go.
Yep.
Beautiful. A lot of times when I'm in the hospital with patients, we'll just have conversations, and I find that art is what really brings walls down. You know, when you're in that environment, it's very sterile, right? The doctors are coming in. They're just, the doctors are doing their job. The nurses are doing their job, and the nurses, they do try to be there for you. I've encountered so many good, amazing, passionate nurses.
Yeah.
But again, it has to be sterile and they have to be professional, right? So,
it's got to be. There has to be a certain level of sterile and certain level of uniformity and all that. I mean, everything kind of looks the same, and
So now, like with Hearts Need Art, we like to bring that color into that world. So a lot of times patients we have tape and we can just tape it to their walls, and so they'll have something to keep with them while they're in the hospital.
Well, and just to throw this out there to everybody watching, for me, with I don't know if I was showing you earlier, Hannah, with the is it mandala or mandala? I don't.
Mandala.
With those real detailed, you can get them as detailed as you want. The one I showed you earlier was like painfully detailed, and so that kind of stuff you get lost in it, and it's kind of cool. You can kind of like forget yourself, and you're like lost in this piece of art. It's like you're keeping track of where everything is, and it's just, but before you know it, an hour's gone by, and 2 hours have gone by, and it's really cool, especially when you're in the hospital, because it gets so, every 2 hours or whatever, they're coming in and poking you and prodding you and doing stuff, and then so it's like it's so regimented in the hospital. So when you do something like this, it kind of breaks up the monotony of it all, and gives you something to remember.
You're absolutely right. And in fact, sometimes whoever is there visiting in the hospital in the room, sometimes they'll go and they'll join in, and so you have memory that you have a good memory of being in the hospital with whoever is there in the room with you too.
Exactly.
Like they can join in on the fun too. It's great.
Exactly. Yep. And sometimes they do. Yeah. I mean, I remember I had a birthday during that 3-week stint that I was telling you about. My birthday landed in the middle of that, and so it was so people come and and they try to make it as cool as possible, and it was great. I mean, I loved seeing everybody that was there, but it was funny because some of the nurses, I think one of the nurses during that visit brought me a little cake. And so I mean, because when you're in there for 3 weeks, man, they know you, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, his birthday's coming up. So it gets really fun like that. So I'm sure if I was doing something like this, I'm sure they would have joined in, because some of those nurses were just incredible. So I keep in touch with them, a couple of them to this day.
That's
so
really
it's fun. But anyway.
Well, we do projects. We do window paintings sometimes when the hospital allows it in their room. We'll do entire murals on the patient's window. Nice. And so I always like to invite them to join me in making the painting. And it's great because they learn some skills that they can take with them. And I've had patients who even when I leave the room and I don't see them for a while, they'll do murals on their wall without me, or on their without me.
You'll come back and go, "Ooh, where'd all this come from?"
No, that's 100%. Like we have one patient who did that, and he, like, the amount of skill that he claims he didn't have is incredible. He did.
Yeah, everybody gets real modest until they actually start doing stuff.
Yeah. He did an entire tropical scene on the window, like very detailed. So many palm trees and plant life everywhere.
Nice.
And it was incredible to see. And
that's awesome.
He never would have. He told me that he never would have been able to do that had he not seen the possibilities, and had his mind not be opened up to those possibilities.
That's awesome.
So when the hospital allows it, we love to bring it in.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like it. Okay, what's next?
Yes, so we actually just have one more step, honestly.
Okay.
I guess technically two. We're gonna make some clouds. So I'm gonna show you the difference between the black and white picture and the color picture. So if you're doing black and white, all you need to do is make the clouds, and that's it, because we don't want to overwhelm our eyes with having too much motion up here in the sky. Yeah, like if you're doing black and white, just do the clouds. But if you're doing the color, then we're gonna go ahead and add that motion in there as well. So let me set this aside. Let's do some clouds first. I'm gonna take my turquoise color. You can take blue or purple, whatever you've got. And I like to do the bottoms of my clouds first and then make some fluff on top of it. So make my
There you go.
little fluffy parts. It's very rounded. And then maybe some clouds can be a little smaller. And honestly, you can see that I have a blob. It's a pure blob up here, okay? So if you want to just make blobs in the sky and call them clouds, it's totally fine. In fact, I'm gonna do that right here. Little blob. It's gonna be elongated because it's in the background.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make one that overlaps this direction. I'm feeling good about my clouds.
Happy clouds.
Happy clouds. Now, for the motion that you see here, I'm going to swipe to one side, and that's going to represent the wind. I have a lot of high winds in the distance, and we want to make these marks to represent that. So because my marker is flat on one side, you can see it's kind of flat there, I'm going to swipe on the flat side, like so. Swipe it to the right. Or you can do to the left, whatever is more comfortable
There
for
you
you.
go.
Yeah. Keep on going, keep on going. And because I'm going faster, I'm able to somewhat simulate that quick motion of the wind. At least in my head, it works that way. I don't know if it really
Yeah,
turns
sure.
out that way, but in my
It's
head.
all good. Whatever works.
That was the last step. That was it.
Hey.
You did it. You did it.
Right.
Look at that. I hope you're proud of yourself because there's so much motion going on. And you did this all with scribbles.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
That's
scribble.
kind of fun. Yeah, scribbles, man. That's the good stuff. That's, I mean, that's, you know, I knew a guy in one of our Bible studies that we had a few years ago, and he like it was literally how he paid attention. That's how you knew he was paying attention. Some people would think it was rude, but when you saw him like in a class or at church or in the group Bible study, he would just have these intricate designs all over his page, and he'd be taking notes maybe, but he'd be drawing most of the time, and he'd be like all the way down the side of the page was these amazing intricate drawings, and that's how his brain helped his brain to absorb the information.
Yeah, that's how he processed everything. I can relate. I totally get that. I'm a very visual person, so it makes more sense to me to have these little doodles while I'm listening to something.
Right.
And honestly, these types of marks, these types of scribbles, I've been doing artwork my entire life, okay? And I was focused, before I was diagnosed with MS, I was focused on doing everything correctly, very detailed. I wanted to get proportions down just right. And, you know, I wanted to do things more realistically.
Yeah.
But being in the space of like that idea of being free really helped me to cope with MS. Totally. And not being so particular about my drawings and my artwork helped me to relax a little bit, and helped me to sort of center myself whenever I was doing art, and sort of process everything that was happening in terms of my symptoms, right?
Exactly.
Because I was here making art, and that's basically my meditation. And so that's what I try to bring to the hospitals and to the VA. I try to teach people how to meditate using art. I mean, we don't like have these moments of silence or anything. We talk and, you know, have a good conversation, right? But in these silent moments of working on the art, we're able to be in the moment and then process whatever's going on in our life without even knowing that we're processing anything. Like, we don't know it.
Right? It's kind of in the background. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just happening in the background. And I don't know the science behind that because, like I said, I'm not a medical professional, but I know that that's what worked for me as somebody who has tried to process the trauma of being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Totally. Well, this is awesome. We're going to do one more commercial, and then we're going to come back, and I've got a little video I'm going to play about what you guys are doing, and then Rich Wilmore is going to come on and talk a little bit about what he's doing and kind of as an overarching vision of what's going on, and then I'll bring you back and we can finish up. How about that?
That sounds good. That's
Sound
perfect.
good. All right. We'll see you in just a couple minutes. All right, everybody. We are back, and I am going to bring Rich on here. Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. So, how'd I do?
You did. I also did it. I was back there. I
You
made
were back there
mine.
doing it? All right. Hey,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah,
like
you
it.
did great.
Very cool. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. So I do have a video that you sent me that's a few minutes long that I could play, but and we can still do that, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to come on here and tell us about what Hearts Need Art is doing and what, kind of what the future looks like, and are you going to expand beyond, like where's this going,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think Hannah did a great job explaining it. We are based in San Antonio, Texas, but we do virtual stuff with hospitals around the country and individuals around the country. So, our ultimate vision is that when you are admitted into a hospital, you get a nurse, you get a doctor, and you get an artist of some sort, and that's just part of the process
love it.
of living, and that's what our mission is.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's how it should be, man. Because artists, I'm telling you, you just get lost in it,
Yeah.
for the hour or whatever, however, or doing one of those window murals probably takes a little longer.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the fun part, patients
That's exactly.
can help
Hey,
do
you
that
just
if they're
stay
able.
out there. We'll be here for the rest of the day,
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
The more we do it, the more they want it, which is great.
right? Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you probably have people like you get there for one person, and then do you just like impromptu, like, oh, this person wants to do one now.
We don't have like quotas for our artists who go in. It's literally about making connections with people, and they're usually 2-hour shifts in a hospital, and
nice.
an artist could go to one room or they could go to 40 rooms. It really varies day to day.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. I love it. That's awesome. I kind of that would have been really fun. Like the last visit, I was in the hospital for literally 24 hours, so it would have been pretty quick. But boy, for that one I've been in there for a week. I've been in there for 3 weeks. Some of those longer visits would have been so cool to have somebody come in and do that. So, or virtually, I guess, since I'm in Colorado, you're in Texas. That'd be kind of a trip for you guys.
We would have made our way to you. We would have made it work.
That would have been awesome. Well, I mean, nobody wants to go to the hospital again, but if I ever do, I'll give you a call.
Yeah,
See, we'll
you
figure
know
it
how
out.
to reach
Maybe we
us.
can do one of these from on location.
Again.
So, but well, hey, I mean, what do you think? Do you think it would be valuable to play that video? Would it give us a bigger picture of what's going on, and then we can come back, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll give a little overarching talk about what arts and health is and how it can benefit. And it's not even just people in the hospital. It's people at home. It's
Sure.
You don't have to be sick in order to see the benefits of making quick drawings or listening to music.
Exactly. Right on, man. Well, thank you, Rich. I appreciate you being on for a minute and talking
Thanks
to
for
us.
having us.
And I will play that, and then we'll come back with Hannah and finish up. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity to do this. This has been fun. So
I'm glad. Thank you for having us.
All right. We'll be talking again soon, I'm sure, about some other stuff too, but for the future. But this has been great. So
good.
Thank you so much. All right, here we go with the video.
You've been living your life, you crushed your work deadlines this week, you have plans with your friends tomorrow night, and you wouldn't even imagine missing your weekly Sunday family dinner that's been a staple for 8 years. Suddenly, you don't even know if you'll be alive on Sunday. Out of nowhere, your dignity is being stripped just as quickly as the clothes are coming off your back to wear nothing but this ugly gown that you know has been worn by hundreds, if not thousands, of other people. You woke up today, you drank your coffee, you kissed your family or your pets goodbye and told them you'd be back after work, and suddenly you're now in what feels like solitary confinement. You're all but naked in front of what seems like 24 strangers, you don't have a cell phone charger, and you've been fasting since breakfast to make room for that burger you were going to eat before you went home tonight. Not today. You're a prisoner now, doing 24 hours to life, and you haven't done anything wrong. But something is wrong with you, and the only way to fix it is to put you in this cell by yourself, where you can do nothing but sit and think about the rest of your life. If you're lucky, you will be able to shower alone. You're told what and when to eat, and don't even think about sleeping because you must wake up every 2 hours and be poked and prodded by even more strangers. What day is it? How many needles have they plunged into your arm? What's in this IV? Have you pooped yet? That must be monitored, so don't forget to call your nurse when you do. When do you get to go home? Is that even an option? Are you going to die in here? This is how some people are forced to live for the rest of their lives, and this is the environment we put them in to heal. Don't most people go crazy without sleep? Remember being a kid and only wanting your mommy when you were sick? They kick her out at 7 p.m. here because feeling love and connection and security and maybe, just maybe focusing on something else besides whatever brought you here might somehow be harmful. Don't get too comfortable though after Mom leaves because we need to take your vitals. There are over 500 different sounds that can be heard in an average hospital room, and that never stops. Not for lunch and not at 3 a.m. Don't get too comfortable, but please get well soon. Every hour there are countless knocks on your door and you can never say, no thank you. Doctors, nurses, the damn person that takes your blood seemingly 54 times a day, or your daily dose of toast and cold coffee. You're so excited when the person who cleans your bathroom arrives because you know they don't want anything from you. What if every day you knew one of those knocks was from someone who wanted nothing from you, but wanted to provide you with an opportunity to feel more like a human being? Imagine if every day someone was able to interrupt the pattern and, gasp, you actually had something to look forward to. Something that could bring a smile to you, your loved ones, and even your care team that you realize have just been human beings all along too. Would you rather this room you're unable to escape resemble a test lab or a music venue? Maybe it looks like an art gallery full of custom art made just for you. Engaging in the arts can do so many positive things. Some of the long-lasting effects of having access to a creative outlet while in the hospital are seen by fewer call button pushes, less pain and requests for pain medication, improvement in overall attitude, a feeling of connection with healthcare staff, and as we've all heard, laughter is the best medicine. Imagine the hospital experience if you knew all of this joy was waiting for you.
That's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, totally. That actually brought me back, man.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that was powerful. Goosebumps.
Yeah, in fact,
Goosebumps.
one of the, oh God, seriously, I was like, in that 3-week stint that I was telling you about before with 2 brain surgeries,
Yeah.
I was in a room that was in a certain part of the hospital that had the fan running 24/7. So I had this, it was so loud, and it was running 24 hours a day, and I was in there for 20 days. And so I had this giant loud fan running all the time, and that was just the baseline. And then of course all the people coming in and out and all the stuff happening and all the,
Yeah.
and so when I went home from that 3-week stay, I came home and the silence was deafening. I couldn't even, I was like,
I can imagine.
what is going, I was looking around going, what the heck is going on here? So yeah, it's the noise is real. When I heard that, I almost got tears in my eyes, because I was like, yeah, it's a thing. Like they are always making noise. So it's crazy.
So to have music coming into your room, suddenly somebody's playing a favorite song, and our musicians, they have a roster of songs of different genres that they know.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been amazing for a musician to come in there and change it up a little bit every once.
Change up the sound.
And this is why we're here. This is why we want to spread the word of Hearts Need Art. Things like this do exist, and we want to go into more hospitals. We want to do whatever we can for patients.
So just out of curiosity, so in all of this, I think I know the answer, and we only have a couple minutes left. So we literally have like 1 minute left, and I feel bad that we cut so short, but that video was important. We needed to play that. So in about a minute, can you just tell me personally, with your health journey and with Hearts with Art, and just as you're going in here, how do you find hope day to day?
Oh, that's a good one. I see hope literally in the patients that I work with. And I know that maybe that sounds typical, or maybe that sounds cheesy, but honestly, really, there's so much laughter that does happen, even though it is a very sterile environment.
Yeah.
When we can bring in laughter, and when we can bring in that humanity and color into their rooms, it gives me hope, and it gives them hope when we can share our experiences, or maybe even just have like a regular conversation talking about our dogs, or talking about our pets.
Right.
No, it's a normal conversation that we can bring into the room, doing art and doing fun. So honestly, it really is the patients that have taught me that there's so much good in the world, and so much good that can happen even from this healthcare journey that somebody might be going on.
That's amazing. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. We are so out of time, and I wish we weren't. I wish this was a 2-hour show. We could keep going.
That would have been great.
But it is not. So we literally have like 10 seconds. But I'm going to pop your Instagram handle up here so that people can find you, Hannah, because you're awesome. And I appreciate you being here. And then here's Hearts for Art, or Hearts Need Art Instagram handle. So go check them out. They're amazing. That video should be all you need to want to go, okay, how do I find out more? So
thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much for being here, and I will stick around. Let's chat afterwards, but I'm so grateful for you being here. Thank you.
For sure. Thanks for having us, Jeff.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're out of time. Join me Friday, August 25th for Kim Lee, 4 heart conditions at the same time. I don't even know what that means. We're going to find out Friday. It's crazy. She's awesome, by the way. So you're going to want to stick around, or come join us Friday, August 25th. Till then, Have an awesome week, and we'll see you soon.